In this video, we are going to talk about how to do a redirect using request library in Rust. For that, we need to import request library version. The feature cookies are not needed, but for this example, but when we are talking about cookies, we would need cookies. That's the reason I explicitly added cookies here, and we definitely need Tokyo. uh, yeah, which features can time being you can add features as full, and you would need to import URL and redirect, and yeah, redirect and policy I'm not using in this. Let me remove those. Yeah, I'm removing those. And we definitely need to, as we have discussed in the previous video, we need to import Tokyo main attribute so that we can start writing an async main function, and the Tokyo runtime will start executing from this function onwards. And here I have defined a my error for boxing the standard error so that I can embed that in the result. And I would, okay, I'm commenting this, removing this as well. This is another way of building. In our previous video, I think uh, re um, we have used the get method from request directly, but here we are actually building a client. So in request, client builder will give you a client builder, and client builder we have different options. So client builder can be used to create client with custom configuration. So basically we can do the configurations like headers. You can add headers, you can add cookie store. Yeah, a lot of things you can do here. But in our example, we are not doing much. We are just building client builder. And with that client builder, we are building a client and just shadowing it, replacing the client with the client builder with client here. So we got a client object here. So going back to the http pin.org redirect, if you send a request to redirect -2 endpoint with URL you want to get that redirected, and 3xx any status, I think, with starting with 3 will get redirected to whatever URL you have provided. So I'm giving 302. So how we can embed that in a URL? We can use URL, the request URL params, parse with params, and pass the URL comma and the parameters like this. So we are passing a reference to an array of tuples. First one is URL and second one is status code, and we can print that URL here to see what we actually passed to this client. And when you build, how you build a request from this? So for that we can use our client dot get, which will create a request builder, and you can send this request builder using request.send. That will send the request to the URL you have specified. So here URL is actually this, but we are asking http bin.org to redirect the request to this URL. So yeah, request.send will send the request to this URL, and since it's a asynchronous call, we are waiting on it with using .await and question mark for propagating the errors. And here we are getting a response object. We can print the response and we can print the URL, and we are also printing the status, and here we are actually printing the content. So this ideally should be the Google page response content. So having said that, we can actually run it. Yes, we got the response. Let's start from here. This is the URL we have printed on the statement. This is a URL object with with the query parameter string and a lot of scheme and what is the domain we are sending and path. All those informations are embedded in this URL. That is what this thing, and we printed response here. So response is, yeah, what we got back from this request.send.await. So it's saying we send a request at http bin.org, status 200. We got the status as 200, and action. I think that's all the important things. And URL is http bin and status is 200, correct. And we actually requested the pin. Oh, this is uh, request. Yes, I'm not sure this is the GitHub. Why this is the http bin.org HTML, I believe. So I can still see this. I don't think this is a Google URL. Um, response.url. Let's see what we are getting in this. If we give google.com, execute. Oh, it's a fetch error. Oh, for not found. Don't think we can send like this. Let's give this. I think it will get redirected only to this site. Yeah, this one is getting redirected. Yeah. So let's try with this. We are getting back on this. Yeah, I think everything is redirected to this paste. Is there any other is there any way we can something like Google fetch error like this? No, it's not finding. Okay. See if I give this one work. Will it work? Even talk to RS thing. 404. Oh, well said. Is redirecting skill cookies here. Yeah, I think it's only redirected to HTTP. Yeah, description response 4200 cookie status 302. Okay, let's try with http bin.org. I think if you run this again, there will be any difference. Yeah, I think it's returning the http bin.org. Yeah, it's the same thing. Try, let's try absolute redirect. Where is this one? Oh, this is some n times redirection. It should be try that model. Fetch. Yeah, I don't think this is working. So yeah, let's give this pin this URL, and we are actually getting a response back. URL is passing correctly. The thing is, not sure it's getting redirected to the respective place. I give cookies here. Yeah, it's just bringing the cookies along. I think it's will get redirected only to this domain. So if I give a URL like this, it will get redirected to this specific URL. So control set. For this case, I just given URL as http bin.org/cookies. So we got the response body with cookies. So we will see what is cookies. So let's move on to the next uh, program. So we will rename this to lesson 2 first. We will redirect to this main.rs. We will change to listen to request dot what we would say. Uh, let's say client builder exercise. Okay, so this one we just use the client builder to build the client and send the get request. And in this one, we will see how to set a cookie and retrieve a cookie from the server. So we will change this to main.rs and see whether we can build this one. Cargo build, cargo run. It's the one. I don't think so. This program got compiled. Let's build cargo build. Oh, it's actually not changing. Okay. Let's cargo clean. Yeah, let's clean cargo and cargo build again. Now this will build this program and we will see what is happening on this cookie program. So when it's compiling, let us go through this program. So first we are importing URL as we did in the last program, and we are importing header too, and we are importing client builder and client. And this one we have seen, it's pretty standard as it is in our previous example, and Tokyo main is same, and this main function also template also same. Here we are actually creating a payload with freeform key value pair, freeform and Naveen. Why it is like this? Because in HTTP bin cookies, we need to set cookies. We need to use freeform query parameter. So I'm giving name of the cookie parameter freeform and description as Naveen. Execute. So it will set cookies the freeform equal to Naveen and return a response body with cookies freeform Naveen, and response headers will be like this. So we will see and we'll see what is this do. it's bringing that response. Okay, so before we will try this first through request. So for that, we are creating a payload and with the freeform and Naveen, as we need to pass this freeform Naveen value pair, key value pair, and we are creating a request header using header map. That's why we imported the header. It's in the request library, and with request headers we can insert header cookie and header value from static freeform equal to Naveen. Then with this request header we can create the client builder. So last example we have created the client builder new. We didn't add anything, but in this case we will set up default header with this header and cookie store equal to true, and we will build uh, a client from this. So we got a client, then as we seen in the previous example, we can do a get request on the client and pass the URL. So here we are passing the URL as we have seen here, slash cookie slash set, and we are sending that request, and since it's a synchronous call, we are waiting for it. Once we have the response, we can actually, I'm trying to clone that URL, and yeah, I need to again request. That's why I'm um, doing a get request here with that same URL, and um, I want to this URL. I want to do this one since we can get the cookies from this. So try it out, execute. So we got the free form now in here. Let's see whether we are getting that from this. So here we got the response. I'm just cloning the URL, and with that response I'm taking the text, the body content, uh, and awaiting on it since it's an asynchronous call, and printing that body. And I'm again calling a get request on this cookies endpoint and seeing whether I'm getting the body again with the cookie. So having said that, it's already built. Let us run this program. Yeah, we got the body, but as we have seen in the first uh, get request on slash cookie slash set, but the second request is not returning that cookie. I'm not sure why it is happening. Hmm. Let's yeah. I actually changed. Uh, Earlier I was, let me go back to the previous one. I was sending a request get an entirely independent get request on the cookies. That's why we haven't got the cookies back. But if I use the same client we built here with cookie store true with the default headers on the cookies, we actually get the response with the cookies. So let's see that. We we cannot await here. We have to send the request. Request builder needs to send, and then we can await. it. Yeah, we got the freeform Naveen again as in the cookies body. The first response is on this one on setting the cookies, and the second response is from the get same client get request on the cookies endpoint. So we are getting the response with the freeform Naveen. So yeah, that's all I want to cover in this video. We will go through some of the request functionalities in the coming videos. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one. Thank you.